Hi, I'm Sepideh, and my talk is on open source cartography. I have been participating in MapTime Boulder for the past year, and this has been of interest to me lately. Okay, so this talk is about OpenStreetMap, which is like the Wikipedia of maps. I don't know if you've been listening to the radio, but Jimmy Wales, who is one of the co-founders of Wikipedia, has been wandering around because it's the 15th anniversary of Wikipedia, talking about the project and the shortcomings. And he said that 15% of the participants in Wikipedia are women. And I wanted to know what that means for things like maps. So OpenStreetMaps has free geographic data made of local knowledge, and it's community driven. But when women don't participate in projects like this, the data gets distorted. And I went to see if people have mentioned women working in OpenStreetMap, and somebody 2 years ago said that there are more strip clubs in OpenStreetMap than there are daycare centers. I hope it's not still true. I like to put parts in. So you go to OpenStreetMap, you create your account, and it looks like this. And in the next slide, I've hit the edit button, and you can see all the lines making up the roads, the dots that make up the businesses, and the little pink buildings everywhere. So you could select one of those buttons at the top and put a point, a line, or an area on the map. And each of those things has a context-sensitive menu. So you select your area, and there's an option to automatically square the corners, so you don't have to worry about doing this perfectly every time. And once you've drawn your shape, whatever it is, there's a search area, and you could search for, is this a building? Is it a restaurant? Is it a road? Is it a bike path? There are a ton of different options for things you can map. Boulder's really good, downtown Boulder, because we have a lot of local GIS people who care about this. If you look at some of the European cities, they have even more details on the maps, like down to the trees. I saw some green spots, and people have been mapping trees. If you go to more rural areas, you have the roads, and you have churches, and you have power stations, and that's all that's really there. So stuff like that could use more work. So all of the data on the map, it could be as simple as nodes, or it could be a set of nodes connected in a path, like a road, or it could be a closed path. And most of the closed paths are buildings, but if you have a running track, it's a closed path, and you have to say that building no. By default, it assumes that closed areas have a building, or they could be a field or something like that. So that was how you put the data into OpenStreetMap, and Overpass Turbo is how you get the data out. I like to use the wizard because it's simple, but you could learn the language to do this. In the search, I used the wizard to look for a bank, and it found KeyBank that it outlined in blue, and this ATM. And you could take this data out and put it into other programs to create other maps, like if you wanted to create an accessibility map, or map all the bike racks in Boulder, so you know if you're biking someplace, are you going to be able to park your bike when you get there. So now that we know how to use OpenStreetMap, why would you ever want to do this? And you could use your knowledge to contribute to humanitarian OpenStreetMaps. Last year, when there was an earthquake in Nepal, in humanitarian OpenStreetMaps, some NGOs will set up a project like this, and they'll give you the description of what they're trying to map. And you see the other tab is instructions, and then you have the option to contribute. So you click on one of the boxes. Usually when a new event has happened, you'll have some pink boxes on the map. And once you click on it, you will open your OpenStreetMap editor and do whatever the instructions ask. So sometimes they'll ask you to block residential areas. So if they're trying to get to people, they know where people might be, and other things like that. And I thought this was really interesting. Any questions? Yes.
So I assume OpenStreetMap has an offline mode. Can you download data, and what format is it kept?
What format? It's one of the no SQL type formats. I have never tried to download everything, or even I've downloaded little bits that I've pulled into QGIS to make small maps, but that's all I've really done with it. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, you have a question?
I was just going to say, how difficult is it to map a path that's just drawing the lines? Or do you map them when you're out and moving as well?
There are apps that you can put on your phone that follow you. So it'll take your GPS coordinates, and as you're out walking, you can tag things along your walk and then take your track back and upload it to the map and put things in.
One more question. So what about if the data is on an offline mode, what copyright issues are associated with the data? And in other words, it's just...
You could take their data.
Okay. And are there libraries that are used for parsing it, like if you're on iOS or Android, or?
I don't know. I haven't pulled it into Android. Yes?
You said Boulder is pretty well filled in. How well overall in this country is the data filled in, the mapping data?
Well, it's
compared to, say, Google Maps.
I grew up in Mississippi, so I look at Mississippi, and it really is just churches and roads. And so when I was first learning to map, I would go and find a super Walmart that had a huge parking lot, and I would map the parking lot of super Walmart. I liked, one of the places I liked to eat in the South was Sonic, that has the little drive-thru. So they're all H-shaped on the map, so I like to go through and find them. Okay.